Some websites ban discussion of Gamergate. Why do you think that is?
That one that I think there had to be either like an ideological animus on there because like when 4chan did, I mean, it's not like GamerGate of all things was going to make 4chan's reputation worse, but but yeah, that's like I don't know the specifics on that, but I would assume it had to be just flat out like one of the higher ups just didn't want to like oppose the very idea. It had the means of getting rid of it and took those means.
Why do you think that some people claimed that Gamergate was about harassment or hating women?
It's it's a good convenient way of like it quickly discredits, if someone's, just like if they're harassing them, then obviously, they're not trying to convey, points or ideas. They're just, like loud angry. They have no argument basically. Where it discourages looking into deeper because you don't want to see someone being mean to some innocent women. Why would you want to do that? And why would we lie about that,
How important was it to you that bad actors were condemned within Gamergate or third-party trolls?
Very, like I said, it's like not only was it counterproductive, but it just I personally didn't want like see that coming from our side. It's kind of basically becoming the thing that we're trying to oppose, the thing that that like like seeing people on our side get harassed, dogpiled, like false reported. Then like I don't want to see someone on our side doing the same thing that I've seen happen to people I've gotten to know, consider my friends, or it's, like seen how it affects them. I don't want to wish that on even my enemies.
Do you think most Gamergate people did a good job condemning harassment?
I'd say yet like there were some that harassed definitely, but for the most part it was like definitely strong sentiment of we don't want that here.
If you saw someone quote unquote on your side doing something you thought was bad, how would you handle that situation?
Definitely like not do like a whole big call up, but probably like reply to them like what are you doing, if private messaging is open, like what do you do, like are you sure you want to go this route, trying to see if this can be resolved on one rather than go down this path because it's not gonna probably not gonna get the results you want. It's almost definitely not gonna get the results I want, and just
You don't have
yeah,
to
just not something I wanted to see.
you don't have to answer or talk about it, but did you experience any harassment during Gamergate from either side or from third-party trolls?
Not really. Like, I'd jump on a conversation and sometimes, get like, like handful of responses like over the course of an hour, but nothing like long term or anything that really, not nothing that left lasting memories in terms of me personally being harassed. But I was a pretty small player, so I'm not surprised I didn't get that much flack.
Why do you think that the media covered a lot of the harassment that anti-Gamergate people received, but almost none that the pro-Gamergate people received?
In some cases, I would say it's hmm, like like sometimes it's a matter of like connection and ambition, I guess I'd say, because like Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn rode that straight to the UN, where like a lot of the GamerGates had kind of, since a lot of the GamerGators had kind of a loose or irreverent feel to them. A lot of it was sort of like if they're like on at least low level harassment, just kind of like sort of a like, oh man, look at this is kind of funny, where those were like our side didn't tend to report a lot of death threats, despite bomb threats being called on us. So I'm like one side was definitely more motivated to do so, and then I think had like the industry connections with like the same kind of journalists who wrote Gamers Are Dead to like spread that message more. Where I think we were somewhat more limited in that because we didn't have the media pipeline to work with.
Do you have any thoughts on Zack Attack? I know that happened when you were involved.
That was the Mombot thing, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember that one. I remember like seeing like the like once it had all come out, just kind of my jaw dropped of like of having the receipts there and just wow, seeing all of that play out, like the whole just like the whole like condone targeting, all that kind of stuff, just like laid bare, just kind of blew me away, honestly.
You were shocked by this?
Not so much shock, but just like having it all like there with the receipts. I remember like people are doing like compilation videos of like hey, it's all out in the open. That like that aspect of it, just like seeing it all like laid out end to end like that was something I just wasn't expecting.
What do you think of the term sea lining and how some Gamergate critics use the term?
That I think was well, I didn't see that as often personally, but is like definitely more a method of shutting off the conversation of like Gamergate's full of harassment. Like, can you give me an example? Like, I don't have to prove myself to you. Kind of aspect where it was like shut off the proof for your claims as that itself is harassment. Where like I'm sure it's valid in some contexts, but I don't think in the matter of you are accusing me of this, I would like you to like substantiate your claim. I don't think that qualifies as actual sea lining.
Yeah, I don't think it's harassment, especially since you're making a very public claim about about a group of people or specific
Yeah,
individuals. Like, you should be able to back that claim up and provide
yeah,
evidence of that claim. And if you can't, then like, why make the claim to begin with?
right.
What do you think about how the media covered Gamergate?
To the extent it did, except for like the very very rare circumstances like the op-ed piece we were talking about earlier, the extraordinary like well yeah, just one-sided completely, like nothing really on the other side. There are death threats from evil people hiding in the shadows who you don't need to know anything other than they're evil, practically. Like
Do you
when it was covered at all.
do you think that the anti-Gamergate people did receive actual death threats or doxing or things like that?
I'm I'm sure some of them did. Like I believe some of it was definitely like some of it was fabricated or weaponized, but yes, I do think there had to be some people who actually were were the victims of bad actors and should not have been.
You say that some of it might have been fabricated. What do you mean by that?
Like I remember seeing seeing this like set of like three tweets from some guy with like two followers, all taken like with a minute of being tweeted, of like becoming this whole like murder fantasy directed at Anita Sarkeesian, and that ended up like being like being added to news articles of she's receiving death threats. Where it's that seemed like, I suppose it's possible, but very very unlikely that a nobody account captured immediately after posting to someone with thousands and thousands of followers.
It's unlikely that, I'm sorry, I just want to clarify. It's unlikely that they would have seen that and screenshotted it in that moment, or
Like a minute, like less than 2 minute old tweets from a person with like two followers given to an account that's got tens of thousands. Like just like it's possible, but I really doubt it.
did you reach out to any
And like
journalists? Oh, God.
Oh, no, that was basically it. Go ahead.
Did you reach out to any journalists or media outlets who wrote articles about Gamergate to correct misinformation?
No.
Did anyone from the press reach out to you?
Uh, Brad Glasgow did.
Oh, how'd that go?
Pretty well. Like he's always been pretty cordial with me. Just sent me a bunch of questions. I sent him replies. It was very, just very very professional. Nothing too exciting there. Just asked questions, I answered them, and that was about it. But I've always followed him since I first became aware of him wanting to cover Gamergate himself, and he's always been a decent receptive person. So got nothing bad to say about him.
Now you said that you were a minor player in Gamergate,
Yeah.
but it as someone who was a bit more, I guess, active, if you want to say that, um, I was only approached by, I think, one person, and
Mm.
they were like a college newspaper type journalist, like not even like a
Okay.
major publication. It seemed like
Right.
none of the major publications really reached out to people to even hear their side of the story. These are major news outlets, not just the Gabe's Press. Why do you think that they wrote
Yeah.
these stories without even talking to Gamergate people?
I think part of it is, like they already had the story, like once you get into like the big players where they don't consider gaming all that important to do due diligence on. I like I want to attribute to malice, but I think negligence is honestly the culprit there. Just they had their story, and who's going to track down anonymous trolls when they've already got like these screenshots of mean things that were said, and there's millions more, or something like that.
If a journalist who got Gamergate wrong is reading this right now, what do you want them to reconsider?
Definitely that there was more than one side to it. That there was a side actively reaching out, trying to be heard, and a side actually trying to deny that side from being heard.
Is that all you think they can learn from how they covered Gamergate, or are there other lessons as well?
Mm. The big one is like not doing the due diligence to see the other side of the story, but like there was a real lack of curiosity on a lot of levels on it being just gaming, and them already having the story from like on some level, not necessarily on like the print newspapers, but like on the online publications, like they've already got you know a good chunk of the story, so they can take it from there. They've already got their source that's accredited, basically. So it was kind of, yeah, it's sort of not just doing due diligence, but also just kind of accepting that they've at least got one side and the basics of that down. Where I think like a little more investigation might have, like a lot of the reporting that was had towards anti-Gamergate was that there are harassers who are full of hate and all this kind of stuff, but there was never a lot of, and like death threats, but there's never like details on this is what we're mad about. Just we're mad about women or minorities or something very 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 vague and nebulous that just like the average reader not knowing anything about look at and think, well, that's not something they should do.
Have you seen the Wikipedia article about Gamergate?
Not in a while, but does it still call it a harassment campaign? Because if so, that wouldn't surprise me a bit.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
Would you like to see quote unquote the narrative on Gamergate changed to be more neutral and or positive?
Yeah, like neutral would be a big improvement, honestly.
Has your conscious experience as a human been made worse to any degree because of the narrative, the negative narrative about Gamergate?
Not really. not beyond the points of they're telling lies about my friends, but like beyond that, not really.
Does it bother you that they told lies about your friends?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think that'll ever change? That there will ever be like a coming to terms with what really happened?
It's going to be a major uphill battle. I'm impressed you're stepping up to try tackling that, honestly, and wish you luck. But that's going to be a tough one, especially after so long, where there's kind of just the nebulous it was a bad thing. At this point, it's kind of the recollection is kind of the way I've seen people look at it now who had no idea what happened then.